Hey again, it's Mr. Lum, and in today's lesson we're going to be looking at the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. Sometimes this experiment or lab is kind of called elephant's toothpaste or monster foam or something like that. But we're going to take a little bit of a closer look into it. So here is the decomposition of H2O2 or hydrogen peroxide, and we'll be using a catalyst in the decomposition of this thing. So the catalyst we'll be using is Ki, or potassium iodide, and here it's a two-step reaction where hydrogen peroxide is going to be combining with the iodide ion and forming OI minus and H2O, OI minus being hypoiodide ion. So the first reaction here, H2O2 and I minus, the I minus grabs one of the oxygens here and forms OI minus, and we are left with an H2O. This OI minus then goes and combines with another hydrogen peroxide, and again it's attacking and takes off one of these O's and forms oxygen gas, an I minus ion, and another water. So what we see is this was our catalyst that we used. However, the potassium is simply a spectator ion, and that's why we don't see it in this reaction mechanism at all. It's just not present. This right here is the actual catalyst. So we can use potassium iodide, or we can use sodium iodide. The same effect will occur. Again, just a spectator. So what we see here is that iodide is going to be acting as a catalyst, and so it starts off in a reaction, and it is one of the products in a reaction, and so therefore it's a catalyst. Now we do have a reaction intermediate here, which is this hypoiodide ion right here, this OI minus. It is produced and then used up later on, so that's why it is a reaction intermediate. Now our net reaction is hydrogen peroxide making water and oxygen gas. As you know, net reaction does not include any of our catalysts or our reaction intermediates. And here's the actual reaction of the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. Now hydrogen peroxide is naturally decomposing by itself, but we're going to speed up this reaction with the use of a catalyst, which is in this beaker, and the hydrogen peroxide is in the flask. So as soon as we add it, we see that it turns a dark brown color, and that is our reaction intermediate. It bubbles and it turns clear again because our reaction intermediate is used up in the second step, and it turns into water and oxygen gas. All those bubbles were oxygen gas bubbles, and the clear liquid is water. Now that water does contain potassium, which was our spectator ion, and it does contain iodide ions because that was a catalyst and it is shot out at the end of the reaction. Normally this reaction is done with soap and food coloring, and it's labeled elephant's toothpaste. Now I didn't add the soap and I didn't add the food coloring so that we can kind of take a closer look at the reaction intermediates and the proper reaction. Hope you enjoyed.